Hello and welcome back. Andrea Twarowski here with Real Biz by Andrea. This video today is going to be about a client of mine actually. She's a new client of mine that told me such an amazing story how she first started thinking about opening up her own business and why, and the struggles and the difficulties that she faced with opening up her own business. And this was a little less than a year ago, and she's already making about $5,000 a month through her own business. So she did allow me to share her story a little bit with you, not in every detail, but she did allow me to share a good portion of it. I think because it's still new for her and it's still kind of fresh in her mind, but she also allowed me to share it with you all to hopefully inspire a lot of you who may be thinking about starting your own business online, but you may not feel you are able to. But also on the other end of things, she wanted me to share her story to really stress the points that it's hard work to start your own business online. It's not a walk in the park, but is it worth it? 110, 120% yes. And that is what she had said too. So you probably heard me say in my previous videos the same thing, that yes, you do have to work hard. I am going to teach you to kind of avoid a lot of the mistakes that I had made so you don't have to work as hard. You will have to work just as hard at your full-time job if you still have one, and doing your business on the side until you have the money to leave your full-time job. But is it worth it? Absolutely. So let me share with you her story. So her story was she lives in a big city, and she moved from a small city to a big city because her husband he started to work there. So it was a long travel for her. And she got there and she soon realized that it was hard to find a job. Not easy. She was in marketing of some kind. So it was hard for her to find a job. And any job that she could find would be at least an hour to 2 hours out of her way every single day. So she would be in the car for 1 hour to 2 hours every single day. Not because it took that long to get there, but because of the traffic. She said traffic was just horrible. So by the time I got to work, I would be exhausted. I would be annoyed at the amount of traffic. And she said, I felt like I just absolutely hated to go into work every single day because she would spend an hour at least to 2 hours in the car every single day there and back for what she said was a marketing position that she had. From where she lived before to now, she's getting paid a lot less. So she said, I didn't want to be there in the first place, but clearly I had to make an income. Yes, my husband made an income, but I had to make an income too. So here I was, A, at a job that I hated, and B, it took me at least 1 hour there, 1 hour back, usually 2 hours to get there and back every single day. Plus, she says she worked on some Saturdays. And on top of that, she just simply said she wasn't happy. She liked what she did, but it was just basically she felt like it was just too much every single day to have to go there, come back. She would have to leave by 6 in the morning every single day, and she would be home at about 8 at night every single night. And she said, I was exhausted. I simply hated everything. She said, I know that hate's a strong word, but I hated everything. So then she said, I started thinking, well, how can I start something, doing my own business online? So she's a marketing expert. So she said, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this because I have simply had enough of this. Like, I can't handle this anymore. I have got to do something. So what she did is she said that she worked every single night as soon as she got home to sort of help herself start her own marketing business. So she did that. She had to do some extra research. She had to reach out to many, many clients. She was not able to use the clients that she had now because she came apart those clients from her company. So she couldn't even say anything that she was starting her own sort of marketing business because she simply wasn't allowed to. Legally, she couldn't. So she said, she had contacted some other people to let the word out that she was starting her own business, but she had to be careful because she knew at the current job that she was at, if they knew she was starting something herself, she would have been let go. Probably, she can't say for sure, but she was pretty sure that that is what would have happened. And she said, but I couldn't afford to simply leave. I wanted that stable income. And I also wanted to save up enough too to invest in my own business. So that's a key thing too. So she did say, she worked very, very hard. If you think about it, she came home every night at 8 p.m. She said she worked until at least midnight just doing her own thing, trying to start up her own business. On top of that, she woke up an hour early every single day. She was up at 4 o'clock some mornings to get started and, do as much as she could with starting her own business. And, even I had said to her, I said, you know what? You should have taken at least a day or two off throughout the week so you'd be able to sleep or, do something else. And she said, well, I had actually asked for at least a day off, but my work had pretty much said that I'm too new there, that I couldn't. So I said, oh my gosh, But this is a perfect example. Is she worked hard, you guys. She worked very, very hard. So if you ever hear people say to you, it's easy to start your own business online, it's not that it's not easy, but you have to put in the hard work. Now that I look back, it was pretty simple, but I was a lot younger when I first started my own business. This client of mine, she worked full time. She has 2 kids. She obviously has a husband. She was in a new city, so a lot of things were happening at the same time. Plus, she also said she wanted to make sure to save up enough every single paycheck for herself so that eventually, once she reached a certain amount, that she could invest in her own business. Because she had said, this is her words, not mine, but she had said every business owner, even starting out, you need to realize you need to invest some money into starting your own business. If you think you don't have to invest anything, that's simply not the case. You simply have to. You have to invest something, whether it be on, hiring somebody to help you out, investing in email automation, just investing in something that will help you out. But she also gave a few tips. So these are the tips that she has said helped her huge. She said you have to have a plan, because even from just simply thinking, okay, now is the time to start my own business because I just simply hate the job where I'm at now. Now is the time to start. She says you need to have a plan and you need to follow that plan, because if you don't, it can become very overwhelming. So have a plan every single day. On Monday, are you going to do some research? And then Monday evening, are you going to write some articles? Tuesday, are you going to make some phone calls to potential clients? Tuesday evening, are you going to work on designing your website? On Wednesday, are you going to market and advertise? On Wednesday evening, so she had made a clear-cut plan, also very easy to implement into action. So her tip was you need to have a plan and you need to have a strategy, because if you don't, you will never feel like you are accomplishing anything, and then you quickly become annoyed at yourself, and then you say, you know what, enough, this is too much work for me, I'm not going to do it anymore. Another tip she had was, don't stop to think, oh my God, I just worked from 4 in the morning until 12 at night. This is nuts. She said, don't stop to think like that. How you have to think is you have to think of the bigger picture. You have to think what you want to accomplish and keep thinking of that. There's my dog again. Sorry, guys. I'll just wait till she stops barking. No. Hope there's nobody at the door. Okay, well, she's downstairs, so you may not be able to hear her as well. But she had said you need to have a plan and you need to implement every step of that plan into action, because otherwise things can seem very overwhelming. She also said, because a lot of the times people either work part-time or full-time while they're trying to start something on their own. And that's a good thing because you have the stable income coming in. So let's say you don't find a new client or you don't make a sale that month. That's okay because you still have that steady income coming in and you don't have to think like, oh my God, I'm going to lose the house, I'm going to be late paying the bills, something like that. So she did say, which I say too, it's a good idea to maintain the job you have until you get further and further along. She also said, which I had mentioned, you need to remember to save up enough to invest back into your business, depending on what your business needs. So if you're looking to hire a virtual assistant, save up the money for it. If you're looking to hire somebody to make the website for you because you just don't know how, then save up the money for it. But she says, and I say the same thing over and over again, you need to invest, because if you don't, how can you expect other people to purchase your course or your product to help them if you're not willing to help yourself? It just doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? So she did say save up money because that helped her huge. And then she said that when she saved up a certain amount for my course, because she's my new client in the Biz Academy, she said, she saved up. And then she was so happy as soon as she saved up that money, she felt awesome. She didn't feel like, okay, here's some money towards this course I don't really know about, I don't really want to spend the money. No, she said the opposite. She said that she felt so happy that she was finally able to pay for this course that she has wanted for such a long time. And she says that it has helped her huge. So, it's just, as business owners or potential business owners, we just think in a certain way that we do understand the value of our money and the fact that we need to invest in ourselves so that other people can do the same thing for us. Let me just think. What else did she say? Those were pretty much the main points. If I think of anything else, I'll do another video for you guys, but she's amazing. She truly, truly is. Oh, and another thing that she said was you have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you can do it. Don't think, I don't have time to wake up early in the morning. I don't have time to work on my own thing after my full-time job. She says no, because that separates those people who do amazing and those people who quickly give up fast. She says you have to believe in yourself. You have to work hard. In fact, she had said, she's not waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning anymore, but she did that for at least 3 months. She has left her full-time job, which is amazing. She said, I believe she left her full-time job about 2 weeks ago. It's been about 2 weeks since she signed up for my course, the Biz Academy. And she says she's making on average about $5,000 a month. She says she wants to make more, but she was making about I think she said 2,800 at her previous full-time job, but she had said I'm so much happier now making $5,000 a month, and now that I have all of my systems and strategies in place, I think she said she works Monday to Thursday. She takes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. She usually works she says she likes to sleep in. I can see why. She works till about 10 till 4 every single day, but she says she loves it. She gets to work from home. She doesn't have to drive to work, 1 hour there at least and 1 hour back. She does it all from home, and she says she's a happier person. She loves it, and she's now helping other people do the same thing because she loves it so much. So if that was not inspiring for you, I don't know what could be, because I was so happy to hear all of that from her. How she worked so hard. Things were not easy for her. She had a good job to begin with, but she didn't love it. She liked her job, but did she love it? No. Was she happy to go into work every day? Heck no. Now she's happy. She says that she can take time off when she wants to, but she doesn't want to. She says that she loves what she's doing so much that she hasn't taken a day off. I mean, it's been 2 weeks since she quit her last full-time job, but she says, I love it. I love working from home. I tell people what to do. She's hired a virtual assistant, so she is doing amazing. So, as I said, I hope this was inspiring for you. Real Biz by Andrea. This is how it is. So if you're thinking about starting your own business, just do it. Now's the time. If you need help, let me know. I will see you guys all soon in the next video.